Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap.
Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap.
Let's go. Zen.
Trap.
Zen.
Trap.
Zen.
Trap.
Zen.
Trap.
Protect.
Yo, peace.
Protect your energy. Welcome back for another special ZTP Zen Trap Perspective. I'm one of your two hosts. I was about to say I'm Yogi LG, but my name is Zen P.
I'm Yogi LG.
And today we got a special video. Yogi LG, what are we reviewing today?
All right, so we got a special video from, we watched it on YouTube. It's from Shetty's podcast. The title of the video is How to Manifest Abundance, Success, Happiness into Your Life. It is starring Big Sean. We're a big fan of him and his kind of perspective. So let's jump right in. Zen P, who would you recommend this video to?
Man, I'm not going to lie. This is a part 2 from the first video we highly recommended and saw, especially from the spiritual retreat we did. I would recommend this video to, I like saying anybody, but let me think specifically. Specifically to people that are in the midst of like changing stuff, or if you're feeling stagnant or complacent. This is a great video for you to just watch and try and get inspired to get back out there and get into action. Like, stop being so much in emotion and refocus up, recharge yourself up, and get aligned with what you want to do so you can start attracting what you really want out of your life. What about you? Who would you recommend this to?
Obviously, if you're a big Sean fan, I think you should definitely watch this. Super good video. But ultimately, I felt a focus on even like the happiness portion. So if you feel like unhappy or that your success and your happiness aren't kind of on the same page, you feel like, oh, I may be successful here, but I don't get enough sleep, or I don't have enough time, or I can't do all these other things. So it's leading to me being unhappy. I think it's a good video to watch because they really hone in on that a lot. And if you got some relationship issues, I definitely threw that at the end on there. So I would definitely recommend it to any of those type of people.
That was a fire ending, talking about relationships.
It was fire. All right. How would you describe this video to someone who's never seen it?
Well, it's another just casual conversation, but the thing about this casual conversation is with Jay Shetty and Big Sean. If you don't think you're going to get nothing, you're going to get bars.
Yes,
you're going to get bars, nuggets, and they don't even have to be complex. They are simple, easy to understand, and if they're not, they break them down into metaphors and stories and examples, and they just keep digging deeper into simple bars and sayings, and they try to make it clear and make sure that they know, like, explain the intentions behind it. So you get like little nuggets that you can just use to keep remembering you and help motivate you to keep going or to start. What about you?
I definitely would describe it as just a kind of like you said, just a conversation. But this is a conversation of two very wise people, right? In my opinion. So I think that they bounce off each other very well. So it's like moments that Big Sean will say something and Jay Shetty says it in a different way, and it hits different for different crowds. So I definitely think that you should hear both of them and what they're saying. You're not just exclusively listening to Big Sean or Jay Shetty. You're just listening to both, but I think it's a good conversation that allows for a lot of back and forth and even difference of opinions and similar opinions. So
well said. I thought it was crazy how like they had essentially just met that first time they did the interview, and it's just turned into this immediate like friendship.
Yep.
Crazy. You know me. Let me hear your favorite bars, man.
All right, so I got plenty of bars for sure from
Don't
this
steal
video.
Mine, but you can go first. But don't say mine.
I'm going to give you one that I just thought was good. Is we don't give ourselves permission for things we feel we don't deserve. We feel like if we don't deserve it, then we shouldn't have it. I thought that was a bar.
Yeah, that's deep.
For sure. And
making sure you feel worthy of deserving it.
Yeah, and they were even talking about something as simple as like sleep. How like you feel like, oh man, I don't deserve to go to sleep right now. I got so much to do, so much on my plate. So you don't give yourself permission to do those type of things. With me and my body, ain't no permission involved. If I get sleepy, I'm just gonna go to sleep. But that's just me. So I feel you. What was one of your biggest favorite bars?
One of my favorite. The goal is to get to the point that things you can't change you, because you have the armor on to endure the storm. That's the ultimate goal with the continuous journey of doing those daily practices, having a routine and meditating and stuff like that. The goal is literally to get to the point where external things that are naturally going to happen that are outside of your control won't affect you like they used to, just because you have on these layers of protection, energy protection, like real protection. So what we talk about all the time, protecting your peace and protecting your energy, like it literally talks about and gives you techniques on how to do that.
Absolutely, for sure. I got another one. Bring what you think is fun to what you do. So I thought that was good. Big
Love
Sean
that.
is really just zoning in on like
Be serious about your fun.
be serious
It's
about
the same
your fun.
Make everything fun.
That's for sure.
I definitely live by that.
Do you?
You know, occasionally.
Okay, all right, cool.
Make everything fun. It says
Yeah.
like real success is when you're happy, and if you literally are trying things and you can't incorporate your fun in it and it's making you so miserable, do something else.
Yeah. So they
Do something
had
else.
this bar that discipline, have discipline about what brings you joy, and having fun should be serious. So I definitely felt like all of that was like really good. When he talked about you have to be disciplined about what brings you joy. Sometimes we don't think those two kind of coexist, but they absolutely do. Discipline and joy.
I'm serious about my fun. I take it very serious.
I'm super serious.
When
about
it's
my
nap time, it's nap time. When it's playtime, it's playtime. When it's go time, it's go time.
fun. Right.
I feel like Big Ek Dog said, when it's hoe time, it's hoe time.
Shout out to Egg. What's his name? Tyrone? What is it? Trayvon?
Trayvon. Shout out to Trayvon.
Shout out to Trayvon.
Shout out to Trayvon. When it's go time, it's go time, baby.
When it's whole time, it's whole time.
You know? Hey, if you're going to be a stripper, be the best stripper. You're going to be a janitor, be the best janitor.
Absolutely. So he said something else about, which I thought was a bar, and this topped into the relationship segment, which I'm going to get into later, but because it was good. He was like, do you want attention or do you want affection? Do you want someone who values you or someone who validates you? I was like, oh, this boy in his back.
Feeding that ego.
Come on now, Jay.
I need my ego stroked every now and then, but I'm learning to go away from it a little bit.
That's a process.
Bars, I can't wait
journey.
until you get into that relationship section.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
excited
that's
about that.
That's good.
Time and love is the currency of the universe.
Yep, definitely. I got that one for sure. Dang, that was good. He said something like, money ain't real. Nah, but he said money is conditional. Like, money is going to change.
Yeah, I'm going to be rich regardless.
Come on, man. You got to be. He even says, like, me and my family were rich before I got famous. We were rich in other things. And so having that mindset just made us more enjoy the money even more because we was already rich, right? So that was good.
I can jump in.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so this may lead into like my favorite section.
Go ahead. Let's jump into it.
Wanting something is acknowledging the lack of something. So Big Sean did a really good job of breaking down how you got to be careful in like your word choice sometimes. So he even referenced the 4 agreements. So being impeccable with your word and what you say and what you manifest and what you desire. And I can kind of bring 2 quotes together to kind of talk about that. But the first one I really liked is like, sometimes when you're thinking about that you want something, that at the same time when you're saying and using specifically the word want, it's acknowledging the lack of something in your life, and you're often removing gratitude for what you have unintentionally a lot of times. So that's what Jay was saying. It turns into chasing versus pursuing and being desperate versus pursuing. So I thought that was real big. And and they give you, like when we talk, and I don't know if that came out yet, so that's why I can't. You talked about one time how the structure of a book was set up, that you didn't like how the flow of it was it and stuff, because it didn't really give you like the guidelines like that. And this, even in this podcast and episode, it gave you very good structure on how you can apply it, what it means and stuff. So when they say like you wanting it, instead of using want, he gives you a word, use desire instead. You desire this. You don't really want it. And you leave yourself, and how like when you're manifesting, if you get too specific, sometimes it closes off all other opportunities. Like, you're so specific that this has to look exactly like this, when it could be a completely another opportunity staring you smack dab in your face that is even better and designed for you. But you're so focused and creating expectations that it must go this way. It must look exactly like this, or I don't want it. And that's not you being grateful. You're turning into being want and desperate for this.
Right.
It could be external thing or whatever the case may be. And you have a blessing sitting right beside you. So I thought that was huge. That was one of my favorite sections. And it's another one I want to talk about. But what, you got one?
Yeah, I got one for sure. So, and I do this, and this is why it resonated with me. Stop judging the person who judges other people, because then you're judging them, right? Meeting them with understanding and grace is kind of where you need to meet them, not really trying to judge them for judging other people. So I thought that was a bar for sure.
Definitely had that written down. I talk about Debbie Downers all the time. No judgment to y'all, though. I'm just talking about my experience and how I like to protect my peace and my energy. So I just like to make sure, like, it's no judgment. Like, I just want you to appreciate everything that you got going on. So it's more so the intent. And I don't even really say nothing to Debbie Downers, honestly. I just kind of speak on it that I just don't like the energy. I notice it, I feel it, I see it, but I'm not going to tell somebody like, hey, shut up.
That's perfect, right?
Shut that Debbie Downer
You
up.
assessing that energy, right? And then they would talk about, like, being around certain people. But that's another thing.
Mm-hmm, that's in your relationship section.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we can go.
I got another one that really resonated with me. I want to act in a way that doesn't cost anyone else something. I don't want to make someone else pay for what my behavior has done. And so that resonated with
What's
me
that
big
mean?
time.
I don't know if I really know.
Yeah. So for me, I'm gonna tell you what it meant. I don't know what they meant by it, but I think this is what they meant. Is that I want to behave in a manner that doesn't cost anyone something else. So, for example, if I behave in a manner that costs you your joy, I don't want to do that. And so, if you notice, I know you know this, I'm very careful about my words. I'm very careful about how I act in certain environments, because I don't want anything that I do to fuck up somebody else's day. Right? What's the name say? If you can't, have a good day. If you can't have one, don't you dare go messing up nobody else's. So that's kind of what that meant to me, is that
I understand the meaning now of what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think this is something me and you kind of debate about, though.
okay.
Because I feel like you still feeling strongly and focus so much on not ruining somebody else's day. But what did Lisa Nichols say? Like, me being myself and being great, if it offends you, like, you need to put your toes away and stuff. You like,
I'm gonna step on your toes.
I'm gonna step, like, yeah, like, you need to move your toes then. Like,
And I think there's a balance there.
No, of course, there's a balance in everything.
Absolutely.
So that's a section I want to talk about. But again, I'm talking specifically about you. I'm not talking broadly.
Okay, cool. Me.
You are so focused on not offending other people and making such a hospital and making sure you're not stealing. First of all, my joy is something you can't take away anyway. That's not something you have an effect on. And again, that's semantics by just focusing on the word joy. So you, again, trying to not bring the energy level down. Like, I know what you mean and stuff, but you naturally already do that. So again, I think you're putting your focus into something that you already naturally do so well, when you could put your focus into something else.
I can agree with that. I resonate with it because I practice it. But I can agree that I don't have to focus on it because I do it so well.
Yeah, I feel like you say you practice it, but I feel like that's naturally a part of who you are as a person. Like, I don't know how hard you have to, because again, I think you think your words are going to cut people so deep. Like, you got something so nasty to say.
Well, it's more so.
That's what it feels like.
It's more so that, like, not that I have something nasty to say, but more so like people don't expect me to say something nasty. So when I do say something even like remotely aggressive, people be like, "Oh my God."
But is that you holding your real self back just to make sure they feel comfortable?
No, not necessarily. But it is me letting my real self go. It is me not thinking about in those moments.
No. I think you misunderstood what I said.
Okay.
I'm saying when you don't say those things, you hold them back just because you feel like if I say it, they don't expect me to say something like that.
No, but see, the thing I do is I don't not say it. I just sugarcoat it.
Okay.
So most of the time, if I have something to say, especially if it's on my heart for real, I'm not holding back myself in the sense of I'm not going to say what I want to say. I just focus very hard on delicately putting that so that you can receive it, so I can get my point across, and hopefully I'm impeccable with my words. But sometimes the sugarcoating and being impeccable kind of like, yeah, it don't always be perfect. So that's kind of what I'm working on, is how to be more impeccable with my words, but not fuck up somebody's day on how, you know what I'm saying, when I really want to say something.
Okay.
So yeah. You got any more bars? Any more that stood out?
Well,
we can jump into these sections. Like, what was your favorite section?
Well, I don't know how to say sections. I guess more so like the beginning. Really, he started off with something real big. Whole kind of mission of our podcast, really. Yeah. Talking about the yin and the yang, man.
Come on, man.
Let me see where I got that written down at. But pretty much just respecting the yin and yang. So being still in the midst of this crazy and chaotic world is one side of the yin, and the yang is moving when everything gets stagnant. So when I talked about recommending this video to people that feel stagnant in your life, if you're feeling stagnant, that's the time to move. When you're feeling like it's a lot of chaos going on, especially internally or externally, that's the time to sit still and get your energy, realign yourself so that you can focus and be ready for that moment to be moving when everything's stagnant again. So I love how he broke down yin and yang. That's what this whole podcast is about, is finding balance in everything you do and being serious about that fun, because I take that shit so seriously.
Serious, baby.
Last thing about fun, though, I've been saying this for a long time, especially with social media. I feel like a lot of people, like, we in this social media era where comparison is the thief of joy. So everybody's looking at people online and assuming everybody's having such a great life and it's making people depressed and stuff like that. I promise you, you can make 15 seconds look fun doing a lot of stuff. 15 seconds can look fun. Man.
Oh, Lord.
You don't know what just happened.
But it looked fun, don't it?
Yeah, it can be fun picking these up, but
I didn't know he was going to do that, so that was very shocking. Yeah, fun. I appreciate it. Other thing I do want to jump in, and he talked about in the beginning, is like I think Big Sean asked Jay Shetty like how he meditates. What his
that actually wasn't that fun in hindsight.
It was fun for me.
His three
his three meditations. And I just want to kind of point those out for people who may have a question, or you could just watch the video, either one. But Jay talked about him doing breath work and how that's for his body. Visualization is for his kind of process, and like it's not for like, I don't visualize the expected outcome or what I want to happen, but more so visualizing me performing the task well.
Yeah, the
doing
impact.
The actions well. And then he does mantra meditation, which is just his connection to the universe, to God, to the soul, his soul, and to his service to the world.
Yeah, and I love how he says God, because some people get all caught up with the universe, God, and all of this. But mantras out loud to me is just prayer.
Absolutely.
Affirmations, prayer, manifestation, vibrating on and attracting what you want, getting on that same level of that, being grateful for what you have, and still just vibrating and changing yourself internally to attract what's already made for you. And I love when Big Sean brought up Godspeed again. Godspeed. Yep. Like, you out here getting frustrated with how long it's going to take or not going to take. So you now are saying you don't trust God. You don't trust God's timing for what you got for you.
That comes from a lack of faith. He said, I was doing these things out of desperation, but really that was a lack of faith and belief.
That's that duality. Like, when you're using want versus desire and stuff like you talked about. What was the other thing? Oh, he used a great metaphor about that. How he was talking, well, it was Jay Shetty, really. He was talking about a story from a book he read about how warriors or soldiers, whatever they were, coming back, trying to have faith in coming back home, and them being so specific, like, man, I want to be home by Christmas. That's what they were focused on, versus if you don't get home by Christmas, now you're depressed. It's a long year. It can bring you down, versus you just having a mantra of, we going to get back home. I have faith. I don't know when. I don't know how.
But we're going to get back
home. We're going to get back home. Now you good for whatever period. It could be 2 days. It could be 2 years. You good. I'm going to get back home. I'm focused on getting back home.
That's unwavering faith.
Unwavering faith. Omnipotent. Omnipresent faith.
What is your favorite? Well, I guess you talked about your favorite section. I'm gonna jump into that kind of relationship section. Basically, they talked about like Jay Shetty brought up something I thought would be very controversial but good about like how you should spend 7 days a week when it comes to like you and your partner.
Ain't controversial for me.
Hey, I thought it was solid. But he said you spend 2 nights for yourself. Where like even if y'all in the same house, you should just kind of
Your ideal
find your
average
own space.
7-day week. Again, you know, weeks vary, but
Absolutely.
on average.
So 2 nights for yourself, 2 nights that you all should spend together. Nobody else, just you two. 1 night with your own friends. So she go out with her friends or he go out with his friends or whoever, right? And then 2 as a collective group with friends, right? So you all go out together with a group of friends that you mutually know and hang out. How did you feel about that? Did you feel like that's solid or
solid?
Yeah, I think so too. I would probably even say like most people feel like 2 nights for yourself. I feel like that's like amazing. I wish I could do that.
Especially in the same house. That's amazing if you can get that.
Yeah. You think you would like I'm gonna just put my mom out there. When my mom got remarried, she like had her own house. Her husband had his house, and she was kind of like, yeah, I want to kind of like stay in my crib. Like, so I'm going to just stay here a couple nights a week and then I come to your house the other. And he was like, hell no. Like, he didn't say that. But basically, and I also saw that on like Sex in the City. Carrie got married to Big and she wanted to stay in her own place. And they like spent, you know, nights at different places. And I thought that was cool.
I don't know nothing about that, but that sounds good, man. What works for you, man. You got to define your relationship yourself, man.
For sure.
And if you the type of people that want that space, that's beautiful. That's perfect.
All right, so another bar that I got from like that relationship section was talking about the word celibacy. And so he was talking about how it meant something different in the Western world versus like the Eastern world. The Western world is like, you know, abstaining from sex. But in the Eastern world, it's almost like an equal exchange of energy and making sure that you're exchanging an equal amount of energy with a person versus an unbalanced amount of energy. So I thought that was.
What's that mean? I don't know what that means. That's a lot of big words to me. Well, it's not big words, but like what it seems real broad. Like what does that mean to you again?
For me, it's kind of like protecting your peace and protecting your energy, right? Just controlling that. Like if I'm gonna share a space with someone intimately, I want to make sure that we're equally yoked almost, which is something that we say here in the Western world, that we're exchanging energy at a rate that balances one another, that complements one another, that is going to be beneficial to one another versus you on some bullshit and I ain't on no bullshit. We don't need to be exchanging energy. Like if we're not on the same page and we're not headed towards the same goal, we don't need to be interacting in that way, in that intimate space is what it means to me.
Okay. I agree with you.
Okay.
I want to lead with that. I feel like people that would try and combat you would be like, what about when you got to work through something and
that's period. But another thing he jumps into in this section and kind of why I like this, because he was talking about how he's spending some time away from his wife, Jay Shetty is, and how away time has been good for them because they're able to fulfill their purpose separately, but they know that they're content with their relationship. They have good foundation, but I know that I'm supporting her doing her purpose and she's supporting me doing my purpose. And so I value what you value and I support what you support. And you're not going to be happy if you're not living out your purpose while letting me live out my purpose. And so sometimes that calls for time apart. And that's hard. I imagine in a marriage, that's extremely hard to recognize that your purpose is so important to me because of how much I love you that I'm going to let you go pursue that in whatever way that looks like.
Yeah, that's really difficult.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so you got a story in your life that relates while I figure out my story?
Yeah, so I guess the story in my life, it was a bar in there that says, like Jay was basically saying, if we aren't cleansed ourselves, how are we to help purify other people?
Facts.
And really it goes back to if you're not, you are better serving others if you are well taken care of. And so I realized the story that relates to me is I oftentimes try to take care of everyone else and I'm in a whirlwind. And I feel like I'm helping, but I may actually be hurting more than anything. And so I feel like putting my attention towards me more will serve others better. It's hard for me to believe that for some reason, and to accept that. But I think it's because I do a good. Maybe this is a little cap, but maybe because I do a good job of like, even when I am in chaos, I do a good job of making everybody else feel comfortable. So I don't feel like I'm hurting them really, because they seem comfortable, and I'm helping with their needs.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I commented on earlier, is that like you so focused on making everybody else comfortable that you just letting yourself be uncomfortable for whatever reason. Like you said, you got the answer inside of you. I think that was a perfect segue to, I guess, my story. So Jay was talking about how like it was really big for me. Making someone feel guilty of something makes them scared to do it right. No matter the intentions, we keep thinking if you feel people are getting it wrong, they will get it right. And if we just keep pointing it out. So Jay told a story about how like his wife wasn't getting him like good birthday gifts and gifts that he really cared about. And like he really cared about his birthday, but you know, maybe birthdays just wasn't a big thing for her growing up, whatever her perspective is. And to try and get her to get him better gifts, he was trying to point it out probably in a really aggressive way. And that really resonated with me. Because story in my life, I've noticed it. We've had many conversations about it off camera and stuff, and I'm sure some people can tell on camera sometimes I get really passionate about like more so the words and stuff and the intentions, and sometimes it's really derived in having making expectations on people that I don't need to be doing. Like I definitely don't need to be doing that. So for that was a big bar for me and hit home, and I just wanted to take the time and opportunity to, one, apologize to you, because a lot of times, again, when I get passionate, my delivery of my message can come across not in the way that I want it to. And I need to be more impeccable with my words, and I need to start recognizing what I do see and start talking more about that, which I think I do that as well. I just need to cut out the other side of it and stop being so aggressive and so worked up, because it's not something I can control. Like a lot of things, like, and again, I think it derives from setting expectations and stuff. So again, just wanted to apologize. I wanted to let you know, like, you one of the most compassionate, hospitable, empathetic, considerate people I've ever met, and you deserve every blessing and receipt of love that's coming your way. Just keep making room for your miracles so that they can come to you. Keep looking in yourself inside, and just.
Hey man, I accept that. I actually like wrote that one down because it was like I felt like it was gonna hit.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, just again. Because again, the intention, like, that's why I say a lot of times, sometimes intentions doesn't really matter. Like, if I got to question somebody's intentions, that's not really somebody I want to be around. Like, I always assume people have positive intent. Absolutely. So once I get around you and I start feeling uncomfortable and I got to question your intentions, that's too much for me already right there. So again, my intentions may not be good, but at the end of the day, if it's still hurting your feelings or making you feel a certain kind of way, I have to take that in and do a reality check and check and adjust and make sure that I'm holding myself accountable as well. So
yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate
no problem,
that. Man. That was actually
wings.
Same, nigga, wings. That was actually gonna be my takeaway. Something
Okay,
to apply
well,
to my life.
I actually got more sections, man.
Hey,
like,
go ahead, man. Jump in there. Let the people know.
You already talked about bringing your best self to situations, what I thought was again beautiful.
I'm gonna jump in. You said something good.
Jump.
Your miracles can come anytime. So Big Sean said something like that. Be prepared for your miracles. Like,
you got to create the space for it. You won't recognize them. Exactly. You won't be able to recognize them. It could be
you ain't gonna see it coming.
Miracles all around you, but you just so you ever been walking around on your phone?
Hitting you in the face. But go ahead, man.
Stuff going on. No, I mean, we already talked about that. Love, they talked about again, motion versus action. Yeah. If you can't figure out what you're passionate about, you got to try new things, man. They was talking about how it's easy to go to drugs to get that high, like
that was good.
Leaning into and again, I love how Big Sean preference, no judgment, drinking, drugs, whatever is your vice, no judgment. That's what relaxes you and stuff. But it's just saying that there's other things that you can try out there to help give you that same or not even better type of high. And it's stuff that we probably have not accepted too much in the Black community. But I think we're on a great self-care journey. All of us, it's a big self-care movement. Like hiking and stuff like that, eating healthy and all this other stuff.
It's a
like
movement for sure.
It's a movement to find other vices that don't contradict what other goals and stuff you have going on. So if your vice is deteriorating your health, it's not really helping you as much as you think. And again, it's no judgment in that. That's really just like facts and stuff. And it's like you can find something that does both, that is healthy for you and complements your goals and stuff. So I thought that one was like really big. And then the story about like the lady that was in a concentration camp and still had the mental wherewithal to just like focus and be like, I'm not even in a prison right now. This external prison is not a real prison. The guards, she was like, the guards are the ones who are really in prison, because you probably can't even sleep at night with all this stuff going on, how you treating people and stuff like that. Like, I think about that and like how, slavery and people in civil rights movements and stuff, all these things that our grandparents and ancestors had to endure, and still being able to have like such a strong mindset and keep going, like stuff just got to get done mindset, and just not trying to contradict your morals and stuff, like having real abundance, internal abundance, so that you can keep moving around at night. Like, hey, like Franklin Saint said, like, how you sleep? Like a baby.
Like a baby.
Like a baby.
Yeah. I mean, this video was good. Definitely recommend it. It's so much.
Big Sean said he got a book coming out. Or not coming out, but he's going to write a book eventually.
Write a book, yeah.
I was like in my head already, that book going to be fire. Boy.
Yeah. He definitely gave a book recommendation of 4 Agreements. So
we already reviewed that, right?
Nah. We did the 7 Spiritual Laws. Yeah. It was a really good video. Last bar I thought was good was, whatever you recognize in someone, they will repeat.
Yeah.
And that was on the front end of like kind of the segment you talked about making somebody feel bad. But I thought that was good, like, because you'll kind of, especially if you like harp on it, right? You'll like point this thing out and people will start to like normalize that. Like, that's what you expect from me. That's what I'm supposed to do. So it's just, that's really good. And don't get in that mindset of just because somebody tell you something about yourself. Like, even me, like, I'm so hospitable and I'm so this. I don't got to always do that. And I have to accept, like, just because people see me in that way don't mean I got to be that way every time.
Yeah, you don't have to be a superhero.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a tricky line. Like, you don't want the positive reinforcement to be what you're seeking now.
Yeah.
Because now your ego is getting fed from all the compliments and stuff. And now you're seeking out this positive agreement. I want to take it back to relationships to kind of like get to the area to close this off with, like, how you feel about what Jay said about the person you're looking for. Do they remind you to love yourself for the right reasons? And are they doing it? Are they reminding you to love yourself based on how they love you?
That was so good. Dang, I wrote down a bar about that. And
that was the same area you talked about earlier, where it was like attention versus affection, validation versus value. Like, is it rooted in the right reasons? Like, how did you feel about that? Like, is that what you like look for? Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I think what was cool about what Jay said is just kind of him talking about, like, I was doing all these things and I wanted her to love me for these things, for these trophies, and realizing that someone loves you for you and the energy you bring and what you possess and the very essence of you is so much better to me than to love me for the things, right? Because I may not always produce these things. So I absolutely look for that. I absolutely agree that I want somebody to love me for who I am internally, not the things that I can do and provide, or not even the things that I can say and accomplish well, not because I can cook, or not because I can dress, or not because I'm tall or short. I want them to love me because of my energy. Yeah.
Well said. I like the part that made me think about when I've been dating and stuff, how again, filling people's energies out, and it allowed me to kind of recognize more about myself, because I kind of always knew I was in the middle, but didn't know a word for it. So I'm definitely a certified ambivert. Like I can be extroverted, I can be introverted, but also depending on the personality type I'm around. So if I'm around a whole lot of extroverts, I can feel super comfortable in being introverted and just sitting back relaxing. If I'm around a whole bunch of introverts, I'm gonna look like this extreme extrovert just compared to super introvert. So it just keeps me right in the middle. And I'm comfortable with that. I like that if you talk to probably 10 different people that know me, you might get 10 different answers. Yeah. I really enjoy that. But when it goes to dating, though, it really had me asking questions about myself. Like, if I'm around this girl on a date and I'm starting to be just naturally more quiet just because of, like, the energy she's giving, or she's not giving me space to talk or even cares to ask about me or something, okay, that makes me aware and, like, do I like how the energy is feeling? Yeah. Versus, like, I feel like we're both adding to the conversation. I feel like she's comfortable with me being quiet or being extroverted. So being able to, like, use these tools, like you said, to not like, you know, to be that C student that applies them versus the A student that just learns it and forgets it. Yeah. Like using that cumulative approach.
And even Big Sean saying, like, I think Jay asked the question, how do you know when your energy is being matched? You're around somebody that is on that same level of giving that same energy to you. And Big Sean simply put it, it's only a feeling. It's only you feeling. Know inside. So just like you going on dates, can anybody tell you, like, oh, she talk too much, you don't need to be with her, or she don't talk enough? Nah, what does that energy feel like? So you assessing that, I think, is absolutely how you go about determining, like, who you need to be around and who you need to choose as your mate, is assessing that energy. I notice what I'm doing. I notice how the vibe feels. So that's A1 right there.
Hey, man, you know when you know.
They say you know when you know.
And look, man, lessons don't have to be deep for them to hit.
For sure.
And that's a Zen P fact.
Lessons don't gotta be deep.
They ain't gotta be deep for you to hit.
For sure, for sure. All right, man. You got anything else for the people?
Man, just really be aggressive about what you want out of life. Be aggressive about improving yourself. And when I say aggressive, I don't know another word for that. You need be aggressive with your goals. Like, be aggressive with your time. Be aggressive with your lazy. Be aggressive with whatever you got going on. Be
serious about your fun.
When they started talking about that deep rest, I gotta find out what.
That was so good. I was like, people don't value rest the way I don't think people value rest the way I value rest.
I know they don't. I love a good nap.
I love that I can go to sleep like that.
My record is like 14, 16 hours. I did that straight once. My mama had to check to see if I was still breathing in high school. She's like, I wanted to wake you up, but you were still breathing. I'm fine. I am fine.
This rest is good.
Woke up, don't know where I'm at. But he was talking about being, and I'm trying to get the name right of the machine that he was in. Oh, a sensory deprivation tank. And I've seen these on TVs. They're these little, like, pods kind of, and they got water in it. And I feel like it's the one where you just, like, floating. It's dark in there usually. I have not been in one, but I'm definitely going to get in one. And it's really just trying to show you that, like, when you take all your senses away, trying to just show you, like, peace. And don't get me wrong. If you an anxious person and you don't like the thoughts going on in your head, that can be a prison.
Okay.
But if you can just lay in there and relax and be centered and stuff, like, I'm sure it can be some of the most peaceful rest and thoughts that you've ever gotten. So I definitely want to look for a sensory deprivation where it's just like taking almost all your senses away and you just in like a quiet dark room. And I probably can make one in my room, just cut out like.
He in there like building a tent or something. Like to see you build like.
Don't you open the door.
Yeah. That's what's up.
What about you? You got some last thoughts?
Nah, I think honestly, this was just a solid video. Go watch this video. Big Sean and Jay Shetty just compliment each other well. I feel like Jay understands Big Sean even when he says things that like maybe like scattered. Like Jay can kind of like pull them together and align them. It's the structure. I love structure, so I
love randomness. So I feel like you like Jay. I'm like Big Sean. Like I love being all over the place. And
so it's just real good.
I like how Jay ended it out too by just trying to say the purpose of why they do it and stuff. It's for you to have these conversations. Like share it with your friends, tag us, talk about. Like it's to start conversations so that you can inspire people. Inspire people to get started.
I'm gonna leave you with this bar. I think that he said the true meaning of self-care is to be selfless. it is the most unselfish thing you can do is care for yourself so that you can serve others. So definitely take care of yourself because your purpose is rooted in service. I know it is. You know it is. You just got to find that lane and take care of yourself. All right. I'm your host, Yogi LG.
Zen P.
Hey, remember you've been here for another Zen Trap Perspective.
ZTP.
ZTP. Protect your peace.
Protect your energy. Zen Trap. We
out.
Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap.